This title is presented to you by Soundlibra.com. For more audiobooks like this, click the link in the description or visit our website at Soundlibra.com. Hello, and welcome to the Purpose Finder.
And I'm Lisa. We're so excited to embark on this journey with you. Just a quick heads up before we get started. While we're discussing mental wellness and personal growth, please remember this isn't medical or professional mental health advice, so definitely consult a professional for your specific needs. Now, if you've ever found yourself staring out a window wondering, what's next? Or feeling a quiet hum of dissatisfaction despite outward success, then this series is for you.
Exactly, Lisa. That feeling, that whisper of ambition, is a universal human experience. It's that innate desire for more meaning, more direction, more fulfillment. Many of us navigate life feeling a bit adrift, like a ship without a clear destination. We might be busy, incredibly busy even, but sometimes that busyness doesn't translate into a sense of genuine progress or deep satisfaction.
It's like being on a treadmill. You're expending a lot of energy. You might even feel like you should be getting somewhere, but when you look around, the scenery hasn't changed. We go through the motions, fulfill our responsibilities, meet our goals, but that underlying question of, is this it, can linger.
That's a perfect analogy, Lisa, and it's precisely why we're starting this series. We're going to begin by exploring this fundamental human yearning for purpose. Why is it so important? What happens when it's absent? And how can we start to cultivate it in our lives? This first episode is all about setting the stage, understanding this core need.
So, Alex, when you talk about this underlying question of, is this it, and feeling a bit aimless, what are we really talking about? Is it just about career, or is it broader than that?
It's absolutely broader than just career, though career is a significant part of it for many people. It touches every aspect of our lives, our relationships, our hobbies, how we spend our free time, even the small daily tasks we undertake. A lack of purpose can manifest as a general ennui, a feeling of flatness, or even anxiety and depression. Conversely, a strong sense of purpose acts as an anchor, providing resilience in tough times and a guiding light for our decisions. It's the why behind our actions.
It's the why. I like that. So, if this feeling of aimlessness is so common, why do you think it is that so many people feel disconnected from their purpose?
There are many reasons, I believe. For starters, modern life often encourages us to focus on external markers of success, wealth, status, achievements, rather than internal fulfillment. We're told to follow our passion, but that advice can sometimes be misleading if we don't understand what passion truly means in this context, or how it relates to purpose. We're often taught to follow our passions, but passion without direction can be like a wildfire, burning brightly but destructively without a clear path.
That makes sense. So, this idea of following your passion, is that the same as finding your purpose? Because I think a lot of people equate those two.
That's a critical point, Lisa, and it's exactly what we'll begin to untangle in our next episode. Purpose and passion are often intertwined, but they are not the same thing. Passion is an emotion, a strong feeling of enthusiasm or excitement. It's the fire in your belly. Purpose, on the other hand, is more about your direction, your contribution, your reason for being. It's the underlying motivation that fuels not just your excitement, but also your dedication, even when things get tough.
Ah, so passion can be the energy that drives you, but purpose is the destination or the cause that you're dedicating that energy towards.
Precisely. Think of it this way. Passion can be the spark, but purpose is the engine. Your passion might be something you absolutely love doing, like playing a musical instrument. Your purpose, however, might be using that musical talent to bring joy to others or to express deep emotions that resonate with people. The passion is the activity, the purpose is the meaning behind it. We'll dive deep into this distinction between purpose and passion in our next episode and examine how to identify what truly ignites you.
That's a fantastic way to look at it. So, setting the stage in this episode, we're acknowledging that universal desire for meaning, that feeling of what's next, and recognizing that it's not about chasing ephemeral passions, but about understanding a deeper, more foundational drive.
Exactly. We're planting the seed, so to speak. And this seed of curiosity is the first step. We want you to start listening to those whispers of ambition within yourself. What activities, subjects, or ideas consistently capture your attention? What problems in the world do you feel a pull to solve, even in a small way? What brings you a sense of deep satisfaction, not just fleeting happiness?
And it's okay if you don't have the answers immediately. This is a journey, and it's okay to be in the process of figuring things out. This series is designed to guide you through that exploration.
Absolutely. We'll be building frameworks, exploring different philosophies, and offering practical exercises to help you uncover your unique purpose. We'll talk about identifying your core values, discovering your natural strengths, your superpowers as we like to call them, and even how to conduct life experiments to test your hypotheses about what makes you tick.
It sounds like a very comprehensive approach. We're not just going to talk about what purpose is, but how to find it and how to live it.
That's the goal. We want this to be actionable. And as we move forward, we'll connect these concepts. For instance, remember how we just talked about purpose being broader than career? Well, in later episodes, we'll specifically address how to align your career choices with your discovered purpose, making your professional life a source of deep fulfillment, not just a paycheck. We'll also explore how purpose isn't static. It evolves as we grow and change.
And that's comforting to know that it's not a one-time discovery, but something that can grow with us.
Indeed. So, for this week, as you go about your days, pay attention. Notice what excites you, what frustrates you in the world around you, what makes you feel alive. These are the subtle clues to your deeper purpose. Think about the times you felt most engaged, most like yourself. What were you doing? Who were you with? These are the whispers we need to start listening to.
And we'll be here next time to help you decipher those whispers. We'll start by untangling the crucial distinction between purpose and passion, and how to begin identifying what truly ignites you in your own life.
That's right. So, as we wrap up this introductory episode, remember this. The feeling that something more, something meaningful, is out there for you is a natural and powerful human drive. It's the whisper of your ambition, calling you towards a more fulfilling life. Embrace that feeling and join us next time as we begin to explore what it truly means.
Next episode, Purpose versus Passion, Untangling the Threads. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back to the Purpose Finder. Last time, we explored why asking what's next is so vital. Today, we're diving into the difference between purpose and passion.
That feels like a really important distinction, Alex. I know I've definitely used those words interchangeably before. It's easy to think, oh, I'm passionate about this, so this must be my purpose.
Exactly, Lisa. And while passion can be a wonderful indicator, it's not the whole story. Think of passion as a bright, hot flame. It's exciting, it's invigorating, and it can really propel you forward. You probably feel a surge of energy when you're engaged in something you're passionate about.
Oh, for sure. It's that feeling of being completely absorbed, where time just flies by. For me, it might be something like trying out a new recipe or getting lost in a really good book.
Those are perfect examples. Passion is often about the what and the how, what you love doing, and how much you enjoy the activity itself. It's about that exhilarating feeling. But purpose, on the other hand, is often rooted in the why and the for whom. It's your underlying reason for being, the contribution you feel called to make.
So, passion is the feeling of enjoyment, and purpose is the deeper meaning or impact.
That's a great way to put it, Lisa. Passion can be fleeting. It can change as your interests evolve. Purpose, however, tends to be more enduring. It's about a feeling of contribution, of making a difference. It's about aligning your actions with a set of core values and a vision for a better outcome. Passion can be a component of purpose, but purpose itself is a much broader, more foundational concept.
So, if someone says they're passionate about painting, that's one thing. But if they feel a purpose to use their art to raise awareness about environmental issues, that's a deeper layer. It's not just about the act of painting itself, but what the painting does.
Precisely. And this is where many people get stuck. They chase after their passions, which is great for personal enjoyment, but they don't find that lasting sense of fulfillment because they haven't tapped into their deeper purpose. Imagine planting a seed. Passion is like the sun and the rain that makes the seed sprout and grow. It's the energy, the excitement. Purpose is the root system that anchors the plant, allowing it to weather storms and continue to grow, even when the sun isn't shining quite as brightly.
I love that analogy, Alex. The passion is the vibrant growth, but the purpose is what keeps it from wilting or being blown away.
Exactly. And think about this. Sometimes your purpose might involve activities that aren't always thrilling or passionate in the moment. It might involve hard work, dedication, and tasks that feel more like a responsibility than a joy. But because it aligns with your deeper why, you keep going. You have that inner drive.
So, we shouldn't dismiss or ignore our passions, but we also shouldn't expect them to be the sole roadmap to a meaningful life.
Never dismiss your passions. They are valuable. They offer clues. They tell you what energizes you. But they shouldn't be mistaken for the entire journey. Often, our passions can point us toward areas where our purpose might lie. If you're passionate about helping animals, for example, your purpose might be related to animal welfare, animal rescue, or veterinary care. The passion makes the pursuit enjoyable, but the purpose gives it direction and meaning.
It sounds like purpose is about impact and contribution, while passion is about engagement and enjoyment.
You've got it. And when you try to build a life solely on passion, you might find yourself constantly searching for that next exciting thing. When you build your life around purpose, you find a more stable, enduring sense of drive, even when the passionate spark has dimmed a little. Purpose offers a sense of resilience. When things get tough, your purpose can be the anchor that helps you stay grounded and keep moving forward.
So, for listeners who might be feeling a bit lost, or like their current path isn't quite hitting the mark, what's the first step in untangling this purpose from passion?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I'd encourage you to start by observing yourself. When do you feel most alive, most engaged? What activities make you lose track of time? That's a good indicator of passion. But then, ask yourself further, what problems in the world bother you? What kind of impact do you want to have? What values are most important to you? These questions start to probe that deeper layer of purpose.
It's like a two-part exploration then. First, noticing what lights you up, and second, questioning what truly matters and what contribution you want to make.
Exactly. And this is why, next time, we're going to introduce a powerful framework that can help you explore these deeper questions. It's a Japanese concept called Ikigai, which translates loosely to reason for being. Ikigai helps you find that sweet spot where what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you could be paid for all intersect.
Oh, I've heard of Ikigai. It sounds fascinating. So, it's a way to bridge that gap between passion and purpose.
It is indeed. So, to recap this episode, we've distinguished between passion, which is about enjoyment and engagement in an activity, often a fleeting flame, and purpose, which is your deeper why, your enduring reason for being, focused on contribution and impact. Mistaking one for the other can lead to dissatisfaction. Embrace your passions as clues, but seek your purpose for lasting fulfillment and resilience.
And remember, your purpose isn't necessarily about grand gestures. It's about aligning your life with what matters most to you and the difference you want to make.
Couldn't have said it better, Lisa. So, get thinking about what truly drives you beyond the immediate excitement. Next time, we'll dive into that wonderful concept of Ikigai.
Looking forward to it. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back. Last time, we explored purpose versus passion. Now, let's unify your desires and contributions.
Ikigai. It sounds so serene. What exactly does it mean, Alex?
It's a Japanese concept, often translated as your reason for being. It's that sweet spot where your joy, your talents, and your impact on others all intersect. Think of it as the thing that makes you jump out of bed in the morning.
Reason for being. That's a powerful phrase. So, it's not just about finding something you like or something you're good at. It's more holistic?
Exactly, Lisa. Ikigai is often visualized as four overlapping circles. Understanding these circles is the key to unlocking your Ikigai. Let's break them down.
I'm ready. Lay them on us.
The first circle is what you love. This is about your passions, the activities that genuinely bring you joy and make you lose track of time. What makes your heart sing? What do you find yourself thinking about when you have free time?
Oh, that's a good starting point. For me, that's reading, spending time in nature, and maybe trying out new recipes.
Wonderful. Now, the second circle, what you are good at. These are your skills, talents, and abilities. What do people compliment you on? What tasks come naturally to you, even if they're challenging for others?
So I'm reasonably good at organizing things, and I'm a decent listener. Maybe finding ways to connect with people too.
Excellent. The third circle is what the world needs. This is about the problems you can help solve, the contributions you can make to society, your community, or even just the people around you. What are the needs you observe in the world?
This can feel a bit daunting. The world has so many needs.
It can, but remember the world can be small. It could be helping a friend, contributing to your local park, or even bringing a smile to a stranger's face. Every little bit counts. What's something you feel could be improved or is lacking? We might be able to offer something.
Maybe encouraging more kindness and understanding. It feels like there's a lot of division.
That's a beautiful and important need, Lisa. And finally, the fourth circle, what you can be paid for. This is about sustainability. How can you generate income or resources to support yourself while pursuing your reason for being?
The practical side of things. So, it's not just about dreaming, it's about making it work in the real world.
Precisely. An ikigai, your reason for being, is found at the intersection of all four of these circles. It's where what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for all come together.
So, if I love reading, I'm good at organizing, the world needs more calm and focused individuals, and I could potentially be paid to teach study skills or organize libraries. That's a starting point in my ikigai.
That's a fantastic way to start thinking about it. You're connecting the dots. Your ikigai isn't usually a single lightning bolt moment. It's more often a journey of discovery, a process of finding that unique blend.
It makes sense. If you're only focused on what you love and what you're good at, you might end up with a hobby, but not necessarily a fulfilling life purpose. If you focus on what the world needs and what you can be paid for, you might find yourself in a job that feels draining or meaningless.
You've hit on a key point, Lisa. When you have a passion, but it doesn't align with your skills or the world's needs, you might feel a sense of longing or frustration. When you're good at something but don't love it, and the world doesn't need it, you might feel a sense of emptiness.
And if you're good at something the world needs, but you can't be paid for it, you might feel a sense of pride but also worry about your financial stability.
Exactly. The magic happens when all four are present. For example, a doctor who loves healing, is skilled in medicine, serves vital community health needs, and is compensated for their work, is likely living their ikigai.
It's like a Venn diagram, but with four circles, and the most fulfilling space is right in the dead center.
A perfect analogy for our listeners. Now, finding the sweet spot can take time and introspection. It's not always immediately obvious. That's why we're going to give you a small journaling prompt to start considering these 4 areas for yourself.
A journaling prompt. I love those.
Grab a notebook or open a digital note. Take a few minutes, uninterrupted if possible, and jot down your thoughts on these questions. Don't overthink it. Just let your initial ideas flow.
Okay, ready.
First, think about what truly makes you feel alive. What are those activities, subjects, or experiences that you lose yourself in? Write down at least 3 things you absolutely love doing.
Got it. 3 things I love.
Next, consider your unique talents and abilities. What are you genuinely good at? Think about skills, creative abilities, problem-solving talents, or even personal qualities that others admire. List at least 3 things you're good at.
Okay, 3 things I'm good at.
Now let's look outward. What problems do you see in the world around you or in your community that you feel you could potentially help with? What does the world need that you might be able to contribute to? List at least 2 needs you feel drawn to address.
Okay, I have some ideas down for needs the world needs.
And finally, let's bring in that practical element. Were you capable of being paid for? While this might seem commercial, it's about finding a sustainable way to live while fulfilling your purpose. What skills or services do you possess that others would value and potentially pay for? List at least 2.
Okay, I have some ideas down for all 4. This is really making me think.
That's the goal. With these initial thoughts, you've taken the first step in exploring your Ikigai. Remember, this is a journey. These initial answers will likely evolve as you learn and grow.
So, to recap, Ikigai is our reason for being, found at the intersection of what we love, what we're good at, what the world needs, and what we can be paid for. And we've started a personal exploration with that journaling prompt.
Precisely. By actively considering these 4 elements, you begin to create a roadmap for a more meaningful and fulfilling life. It's about building a life that's not just about survival, but about thriving.
It brings a sense of direction and purpose to everything.
Indeed. In our next episode, we're going to focus on that second circle in even more detail. We'll be exploring how to discover your unique superpowers, identifying your strengths in a practical way.
Looking forward to that. So, for next time, we'll be discovering our superpowers.
Next episode, discovering your superpowers. Welcome back. Last time we covered Ikigai. Now, let's discover your superpowers.
Last time, we explored Ikigai, your reason for being. Today, we're focusing on identifying your personal superpowers, which are essentially your unique strengths.
Right? And a crucial distinction we need to make up front is the difference between a skill and a strength. A skill is something you learn to do, like mastering a new language, becoming proficient at typing, or learning to code. You acquire it through practice and instruction.
So, a skill is something you acquire, and a strength is different how.
A strength, on the other hand, is something you are naturally good at. It's an innate talent, something that energizes you when you use it, and it often feels effortless. You don't just do it well, you are it well. Think of it as a talent that fuels you.
So, a skill is learned, while a strength is more inborn, something that genuinely makes you feel good and gives you energy when you engage with it?
Exactly. Imagine someone learning to play the piano. They might develop the skill through hours of practice, but if every practice session leaves them feeling drained and frustrated, then playing the piano is a skill, not necessarily a strength. But if you naturally connect with people, easily make them feel comfortable, and enjoy that interaction, that's a strength. It's something that energizes you. The tricky part is that many people overlook their strengths because they come so easily to them. They don't see it as special because it's just normal for them.
That makes so much sense. It's like a bird flying, it seems so effortless to us, but it's actually a fundamental part of its design. So, How do we begin to uncover these natural talents, these superpowers that feel so effortless?
One of the most powerful ways is to reflect on times when you felt most alive, most engaged, and most effective. Ask yourself, when was I truly in my element? What was I doing during those moments? What kinds of challenges or problems was I solving? Your greatest strengths often reveal themselves during these peak experiences, these moments when you're operating at your best.
So, we're actively looking for those moments where time seems to just melt away because we're so completely absorbed in what we're doing?
Precisely. Another incredibly insightful method is to consider what other people consistently ask for your help with. Think about it. Do friends and family often turn to you for advice on relationship matters? Are you the person everyone relies on to get organized for an event? Do people frequently compliment your listening skills or your ability to offer support? These recurring requests are powerful clues to your unique abilities, abilities you might have dismissed as ordinary.
It really is true that we can be so blind to our own best qualities because they feel so natural to us. This leads me to wonder, can even negative feedback or our own frustrations tell us something about our strengths?
Absolutely. What consistently frustrates you about others can be a strong indicator of your own strengths. For example, if you find yourself getting annoyed by disorganization in others, it likely highlights your own personal strength in organization. If constant indecisiveness from people around you drains you, it might be pointing to your strength in making clear decisions. Sometimes, the flaws we perceive in others can act as mirrors reflecting our own competencies and what we value.
That's such a fascinating perspective. So, our pet peeves can actually serve as a roadmap for self-discovery. Now that we've explored these ideas, can you give us some concrete exercises to put this into practice?
Certainly. Let's try what I call the strengths inventory. Grab a notebook or a piece of paper and create three distinct columns. In the first column, start by listing things that you are genuinely good at. Don't censor yourself or overthink it. Just jot down anything that comes to mind.
Okay, so the first column is for listing what I'm good at. What goes into the second column?
In the second column, for each item you listed, write down why you believe you're good at it. What makes it easy for you? What aspects of your personality or approach support this ability? For instance, if you wrote down making people laugh, in the second column, you might elaborate by saying, I naturally see humor in everyday situations and can often improvise jokes or witty remarks.
Got it. Column 1 is the what I'm good at. Column 2 is the why, the underlying reasons. And what's in the third column?
The third column is where we look for the energy factor. For each item in your list, describe how using that ability makes you feel. Does it energize you, or does it drain you? Do you feel a sense of pride, deep satisfaction, or genuine excitement when you engage in this activity? If an activity feels effortless and leaves you feeling recharged, it's a strong indicator that you've identified a genuine strength. Remember, skills might be performed competently, but leave you feeling depleted, whereas strengths typically recharge your batteries.
This strengths inventory is incredibly practical. We list what we're good at, explain the underlying reasons, and then note how it makes us feel. That seems like a very solid way to truly differentiate between a mere skill and an energizing strength.
Exactly. And I recommend revisiting this inventory regularly, as your strengths can evolve. Another incredibly powerful technique is to turn to people you trust, your friends, family, or colleagues. Ask them directly, what do you think are my top three strengths? What do you see me doing that I excel at? Or that seems to come naturally to me?
And it's important to be open and receptive to their answers. The feedback we receive from others can often highlight qualities and abilities that we've completely overlooked in ourselves.
That's a crucial point. Someone might observe, you're amazing at mediating disagreements, which you might have previously just categorized as dealing with difficult people. Their framing, mediating disagreements, vividly highlights your strength in fostering harmony and finding common ground. It's about reframing how we perceive our own abilities.
So, to quickly recap for our listeners, We've clearly distinguished between learned skills and natural, energizing strengths. We've explored how reflective moments, what others seek our help for, and even our own frustrations can serve as valuable clues. And we've introduced two powerful exercises: the strengths inventory and actively soliciting feedback from trusted friends.
That's a perfect summary, Lisa. And remember, these strengths aren't just confined to your professional life. They are fundamental aspects of how you show up in the world in all your interactions. Intentionally using your strengths leads to a significantly greater sense of personal satisfaction and is an absolute cornerstone of living a purposeful life. When you operate from your strengths, you are at your most authentic, most effective, and most likely to experience that deep sense of contribution that Ikigai talks about.
It's truly empowering to realize that by leaning into what comes naturally to us, we can simultaneously uncover deeper meaning in our lives. It's essentially giving ourselves permission to fully embrace and express who we truly are.
Absolutely. And uncovering our strengths naturally prepares us for what comes next. Understanding what truly guides how we want to act and why our actions matter. This brings us to the critical concept of our core values.
I'm really curious about that. So, in our next episode, we'll be talking about how to find that compass within, how to define our personal core values.
That's right. You won't want to miss it. Next episode, The Compass Within, Defining Your Core Values. Welcome back to the Purpose Finder. Last time, we dove deep into the Ikigai framework, exploring that sweet spot where what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for all intersect.
It was fascinating, Alex. Ikigai really gives you a map for finding that fulfilling intersection of life's different elements. We talked about how understanding your reason for being is central to finding true purpose.
Absolutely, Lisa. And today, we're building on that foundation. We're going to talk about an internal compass, something that guides you, even when the map of Ikigai feels complex or the path ahead is unclear. We're talking about core values.
Core values. That sounds important. What exactly are they, and why are they so crucial for finding our purpose?
Think of your core values as the non-negotiables in your life. They're the fundamental beliefs and principles that guide your thoughts, actions, and decisions. They define what's truly important to you, what you stand for, and what kind of person you want to be. They are, in essence, your personal compass.
So, if Ikigai is about finding what you're meant to do, core values are about how you're meant to do it, or what principles you'll live by while you're doing it.
Exactly. Imagine you're navigating a ship. Ikigai might be your intended destination, your port of discovery. But your core values? They're your compass. They tell you which way is north. They help you steer through storms, avoid icebergs, and make sure you're heading in a direction that feels right, even if the immediate route isn't obvious. When your actions and decisions align with your core values, you experience a profound sense of integrity and peace.
That makes a lot of sense. It's easy to get sidetracked or make choices that lead us away from our true selves if we don't have those guiding principles clear. How do we actually discover what our core values are? It sounds like something that might be hidden beneath the surface for a lot of us.
It absolutely can be. We often adopt values from our environment, our upbringing, or societal expectations without even realizing it. The first step to uncovering your genuine core values is introspection. Ask yourself some powerful questions.
Like what? What kind of questions should we be asking ourselves?
Start by thinking about times you felt genuinely proud of yourself. What were you doing? What principles were you upholding? Conversely, think about times you felt deeply unhappy or frustrated. What situation or behavior crossed your values? Were you forced to compromise on something that mattered deeply to you?
So, looking at both the peak experiences and the low points can reveal what we hold dear.
Precisely. Another great question is, what qualities do you admire most in other people? Often, the traits we admire in others are reflections of values we hold ourselves, even if we haven't explicitly recognized them. Do you admire honesty, creativity, kindness, resilience, determination? Those are clues.
I can see that. I've always admired people who are incredibly dedicated and see things through, and I realize now that dedication is a value I strive for.
That's a perfect example. We can also look at how we spend our time and energy when we have free choice. What topics do you gravitate towards? What causes do you passionately support? What kind of activities bring you a deep sense of satisfaction and flow? These often point towards underlying values.
And it's not just about listing positive words, right? It's about understanding what they mean to you personally. For example, integrity can mean different things to different people.
You've hit on a crucial point, Lisa. It's not enough to just have a list of words. You need to understand the essence of each value and how it translates into your behavior. Take freedom, for instance. For one person, it might mean financial independence. For another, it might mean the freedom to travel and explore. For a third, it might be the freedom to express oneself creatively without censorship.
So once we've identified a few potential values, we need to define them in our own terms. What's the next step after we've identified and defined them?
The next step is to prioritize them. Most people will identify more than one or two core values. It's helpful to rank them. What are your top three, perhaps your top five? Imagine you have to choose between two values in a difficult situation. Which one takes precedence? This exercise helps you understand your hierarchy.
This is where the compass aspect really comes into play. If values are the directions, then prioritizing them helps you know which direction is the most important, the true north.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really powerful. Living in alignment with your core values. When your daily choices, your career path, your relationships, and your goals are consistent with your values, you experience a sense of authenticity and purpose. It's like every step you take feels right and meaningful.
And the opposite is true, too, isn't it? When we act against our values, we feel that internal conflict, that dissonance.
Absolutely. That's the feeling of being off course. It can manifest as stress, unhappiness, a lack of motivation, or a feeling of being lost. Think about it. If one of your core values is fairness, but you find yourself in a situation where unfairness is rampant and you can't change it, you'll likely feel immense discomfort. That discomfort is your internal compass warning you.
So, by identifying and prioritizing our core values, we're essentially creating a framework for making better decisions, decisions that lead us closer to our authentic selves and our purpose.
Precisely. And this isn't a one and done exercise. Your values can evolve as you grow and have new experiences. What's paramount to you in your 20s might shift in your 40s. It's a practice of continuous self-awareness. Regularly revisiting your values keeps your compass calibrated.
So, to recap for our listeners, core values are your fundamental beliefs that guide your life. They act as your inner compass, helping you make decisions and live with integrity. We can discover them by reflecting on times of pride and frustration, by identifying admirable traits in others, and by noticing what fills our time and energy.
And it's crucial to prioritize these values and understand what they mean to you personally. When your life aligns with your core values, you move closer to a sense of purpose and fulfillment.
This feels like such a fundamental step in the journey of finding purpose. It connects directly back to the individual, to what truly matters deep down.
It really is the bedrock. Without understanding your core values, any pursuit of purpose can feel hollow or misdirected. They provide the ethical and moral framework upon which your life's work and contributions are built.
Powerful stuff, Alex. So, we've looked at Ikigai, our strengths, and now our core values. It feels like we're really getting to know ourselves.
Well, Lisa, we've done a lot of deep exploration. We've identified our strengths and defined our guiding principles. The next logical step, and what we'll be discussing next, is about putting all of this into practice. We'll explore how to conduct life experiments to test our hypotheses about purpose.
Life experiments. I like the sound of that. So, you found your Ikigai, you know your values, and now you're going to test them out in the real world.
Exactly. So, join us next time when we'll be talking about life experiments, testing your hypothesis for purpose. Welcome back. Last time, we explored how to define your core values. Now let's test your hypothesis for purpose.
That's right, Alex. It's like having a map, but never actually venturing out to see the terrain. We've been on a journey of introspection, and now we're moving into active exploration. This is episode 6, and we're talking about life experiments, testing your hypothesis for purpose.
Exactly. Think of everything we've discussed so far, your passions, your strengths, your values, your ikigai, as a hypothesis. It's an educated guess about what truly lights you up and gives your life meaning. But a hypothesis, no matter how well formed, needs testing.
And that's where life experiments come in. It sounds a bit scientific, doesn't it? Like we're going to be conducting lab work.
In a way, we are. But the laboratory is your life, and the data you're collecting is your own experience. The goal of these experiments isn't to find a singular, definitive answer right away. It's about gathering information, learning what resonates with you and what doesn't. It's about curiosity and exploration.
So, instead of feeling pressure to find the perfect career or the ultimate passion immediately, we're encouraged to try things out in small, manageable ways.
Precisely. We want to foster a mindset of experimentation, not expectation. Imagine you're curious about learning a new skill, say, woodworking. Instead of immediately enrolling in a year-long apprenticeship, you might start by watching some online tutorials, perhaps buying a small set of basic tools, and try to build something simple like a birdhouse. That's a life experiment.
That makes so much sense. It's low stakes. If you discover you dislike woodworking, you haven't invested a huge amount of time or money. You've simply learned something new about yourself without feeling like you've failed.
Exactly. Failure is just data. If your woodworking experiment leaves you feeling frustrated, uninspired, or just plain bored, that's valuable information. It tells you that woodworking, at least in this form, might not be your path to purpose. But the experiment itself has still served its purpose. It's helped you refine your hypothesis.
How do we design these experiments effectively, though? Where do we even begin?
We start by looking at the insights we've gained from previous episodes. Remember when we talked about your strengths? Is there an activity related to one of your top strengths that you've always been curious about, but never tried? Maybe you're a natural problem solver, and you've always wondered if you'd enjoy coding or perhaps participating in escape rooms.
Or, if you're a great communicator, maybe trying a local Toastmasters group to practice public speaking, or volunteering to lead a small committee at a local charity.
Perfect examples. Also, consider your core values. If one of your core values is creativity, what's a small way you can experiment with a creative outlet? It could be taking a pottery class, writing a short story, starting a photography project, or even just dedicating an hour a week to doodling.
And what about Ikigai? If we've identified some potential intersections between what we love, what we're good at, what the world needs, and what we can be paid for, how can we test those smaller components?
That's a great question. Let's say an element of your potential ikigai involves helping others. An experiment could be volunteering for an organization whose mission aligns with something you care about. It could be something as simple as offering to help a neighbor with a task they find difficult or mentoring someone younger in your field. It's about testing that feeling of contribution and impact on a smaller scale.
So, the key is to break down these bigger ideas into bite-sized, actionable steps. And what makes a good experiment?
A good experiment is one that is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. The SMART criteria can be very helpful here, even though we're not in a business meeting. Let's break it down for life experiments. It needs to be specific, I will try sketching for 1 hour rather than I will be more artistic.
Okay, specific. What's next?
Measurable. How will you know if it was successful? For our sketching example, the measure could be completing the hour or feeling a sense of enjoyment during that time. For a volunteering experiment, it might be the feeling of making a difference or the connections you make. It's not about a quantifiable output, but a qualitative experience.
Got it. So, I will sketch for 1 hour and feel engaged is better than just I will sketch.
Yes, then achievable. The experiment should be realistic given your current resources, time, and energy. Don't plan a month-long trek across the Himalayas if you've never camped before. Start with a weekend camping trip. Keep it manageable.
And relevant? I'm guessing this ties directly back to our hypothesis about what gives us purpose.
Exactly. The experiment should be relevant to the area you're exploring. If you're testing a passion for environmentalism, an experiment about learning to bake sourdough bread, while enjoyable, might not be the most relevant way to gather data on that specific interest.
And finally, time bound. We need a deadline.
Absolutely. Giving yourself a time frame creates a sense of urgency and structure. For our sketching example, it might be I will sketch for 1 hour every Saturday for the next month. Or for volunteering, I will volunteer at the local animal shelter for 2 Saturdays. The time-bound aspect helps you commit and then evaluate.
So, to recap, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. That's our framework for designing a life experiment. It helps us move from abstract ideas to concrete actions.
And it's crucial to approach these experiments with a sense of playful curiosity, not pressure. We are detectives gathering clues about ourselves. What do you feel during the experiment? Are you energized? Drained? Engaged? Bored? Does it feel like work or does it feel like flow?
Flow. You mean that state where time seems to disappear and you're completely absorbed in what you're doing?
That's the one. That's a strong indicator that you're on the right track, or at least exploring something that has the potential to be fulfilling. So, after your experiment, take time to reflect. Journal about it. What did you learn? What surprised you? What did you like and what did you dislike?
And based on that data, do you continue with it, modify it, or pivot to a completely new experiment?
Exactly. The results of one experiment inform the next. You might discover you love pottery, but you hate the mess. So, your next experiment might be exploring digital sculpting or finding a pottery studio that offers a cleaner experience. It's an iterative process of discovery.
This sounds so much more empowering than just waiting for inspiration to strike. It's about actively seeking out what brings you purpose.
It truly is. And remember, these experiments don't have to be grand gestures. They can be small, everyday explorations. Trying a new recipe that challenges your cooking skills, taking a different route to work to observe new things, or even engaging in a conversation with someone who has a vastly different perspective than you. All of these can be data gathering opportunities.
This is such liberating advice. It transforms the search for purpose from a daunting quest into an exciting adventure of self-discovery.
And that's the essence of it. We're building a life that's aligned with who we are, and life experiments are our most powerful tools for understanding that alignment. So, I encourage everyone listening, identify one small thing you're curious about, define a simple experiment, and go test your hypothesis.
Gather your data, stay curious, and embrace the journey of discovery. We'll explore finding meaning in the mundane next.
That's right, episode 7 is all about finding meaning in the mundane. We'll see you there. Welcome back to the Purpose Finder. Last time, we explored how to conduct life experiments to test your evolving ideas about purpose. Today, we're diving into something many of us struggle with, finding meaning right where we are, in the everyday, even in tasks that might seem mundane.
That's such an important topic, Alex. It's easy to think purpose is reserved for huge achievements, like writing a novel or starting a global movement. But most of our lives are made up of smaller, regular actions. If we can't find purpose there, where can we find it?
Exactly, Lisa. We often relegate our daily chores, our routine work, or even our simple interactions to the background, viewing them as just tasks to get through. But what if we shifted our perspective? What if these everyday moments are actually fertile ground for discovering and expressing our purpose?
So, are you saying we should try to find some grand, overarching life mission within, say, washing the dishes? That sounds like a stretch.
Not necessarily a grand mission, but a sense of why it matters or how it connects to something bigger. Think about it this way. Purpose isn't always about the destination. It's often about the journey and the mindful way we travel. Even seemingly small actions can be infused with meaning when viewed through the right lens.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How do we start to see that meaning in the mundane?
It begins with a mindset shift. We need to move away from the idea that purpose is external and grand, and instead look for the internal resonance within our actions. One powerful way to do this is through intention. Before you start a task, even a simple one, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, what is my intention here?
For example, if I'm preparing dinner, my intention might be to nourish myself and my family. It's not just about chopping vegetables, it's about care and well being.
Precisely. You've just connected a mundane task, food preparation, to a core value or desire, care and well-being. This is a form of purpose in action. Another way is to consider the impact, however small. Even filing a report at work, while it might feel routine, contributes to the smooth operation of a team or a project.
I see. So, it's about recognizing that even if a task isn't your ultimate passion, it still serves a function, and that function can hold a certain significance.
That's a great way to put it. Think of it like building a house. Not every hammer swing is a revelation, but each swing, each nail, contributes to the final structure. Your everyday tasks are the hammer swings of your life's creation. Another technique is to infuse your tasks with gratitude. When you're doing something that might feel tedious, like cleaning your home, take a moment to appreciate having a home to clean.
That gratitude piece is huge. It reframes the effort from an obligation to a privilege, in a sense. It makes you appreciate what you have.
Exactly. And this practice of finding meaning in the everyday isn't just about making drudgery more bearable. It's about building a foundation for a more purposeful life. When you can find satisfaction and connection in smaller tasks, you start to build a habit of purposeful engagement. This habit then spills over into bigger projects and goals.
So, we're not necessarily trying to invent purpose in boring tasks, but rather uncover or create meaning by how we approach them.
Yes, uncover and create. It's about the quality of your attention. When you're present and mindful in a task, you're more likely to notice its connections and its contributions. For instance, a student might see homework as a chore, but if they approach it with the intention of expanding their knowledge and understanding, and with gratitude for the opportunity to learn, it transforms from a burden into a purposeful activity.
This reminds me of that concept from episode 3, Ikigai, where it's about finding the intersection of what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. While not all mundane tasks fit neatly into all those boxes, they can certainly connect to one or two. For example, what the world needs can be met by simply keeping a household running smoothly.
That's a perfect connection, Lisa, and also ties back to episode 4, discovering your superpowers, your strengths. Even in mundane tasks, you might be using your strengths. If you're organized and efficient at managing household finances, that's a purposeful application of your organizational superpower.
It's about finding those threads. So, to recap for our listeners, to find meaning in the mundane, we can start by setting clear intentions, recognizing the impact, practicing gratitude, and being present and mindful.
You've nailed it. And remember, this isn't about pretending every chore is a spiritual awakening. It's about integrating purpose into the fabric of your daily life, making the ordinary extraordinary through your engagement. It's about understanding that consistency and dedication, even in small things, are powerful drivers of purpose.
It's like building resilience, too. If you can find meaning in the everyday, you're less likely to feel lost or adrift when facing bigger challenges.
Absolutely. This practice builds a strong inner sense of fulfillment that doesn't rely solely on external validation or grand achievements. It's about cultivating a sense of purpose from the inside out, starting with the very tasks you might have overlooked.
So, the takeaway is that purpose isn't just for the big moments. It's woven into the everyday, waiting for us to notice and engage with it.
Precisely. And this leads us beautifully into our next episode. If we can find purpose in our everyday tasks, how do we then align our careers, those larger commitments of our time and energy, with our deeper sense of purpose? We'll be exploring how to align your career with your soul's calling.
That sounds like a powerful next step. So, to recap today, we discussed finding purpose in everyday tasks by using intention, recognizing impact, practicing gratitude, and being mindful. We learned that meaning can be uncovered and created in the mundane, building a strong foundation for a purposeful life.
And next time, we'll explore how to bring that same sense of purpose into our professional lives.
Next episode, aligning your career with your soul.
Welcome back. Last time, we found meaning in everyday tasks. Today, we're aligning your career with your soul.
Exactly.
How do we move from just having a job to having calling, a career that feels deeply purposeful?
It starts with connecting the dots from what we've already discussed. Remember identifying your superpowers, those unique strengths and talents, and finding your fundamental values, the things that are non-negotiable for you.
Right.
Those are the internal compass points. So, the first step in aligning our careers is to really understand those internal drivers.
Precisely. Your core values are your non-negotiables, the bedrock. Your superpowers are the tools and abilities you bring to the table. When you find a career that can utilize your superpowers and doesn't clash with your core values, that's when the magic starts to happen. It feels less like work and more like an extension of yourself.
So, it's not just about what you're good at, but also about what feels right and what you believe in.
Absolutely. A job can be something you're skilled at, but a career aligned with your soul is something that nourishes you. It's where your natural talents meet what the world needs, and importantly, what truly matters to you.
And for many people, their current career might not feel like it's at that intersection at all. They might feel stuck. What advice do you have for them?
That's where the idea of life experiments comes back into play, but applied specifically to careers. If you're unhappy or feel misaligned in your current role, it's crucial to see it as a data gathering phase. What specifically is making you feel misaligned? Is it the tasks themselves, the company culture, the lack of growth, or something else?
So, instead of just complaining, you're actively analyzing the situation.
Exactly. And then you can start conducting small experiments. This doesn't necessarily mean quitting your job tomorrow. It could mean taking on a new project that uses different skills, volunteering for a cause that aligns with your values, or even just having informational interviews with people in fields that intrigue you.
Informational interviews, that's a great point. It's like a low-stakes way to explore possibilities. You're not interviewing for a job, you're gathering information.
Precisely. You're asking questions like, what does a typical day look like? What are the biggest challenges? What do you find most rewarding? You're essentially trying to get a realistic preview of what a different path might entail. This helps you avoid jumping from one misaligned role to another.
It's about informed decision-making, then. Building a portfolio of experiences and knowledge before making a big leap.
Yes, and as you do these experiments, pay attention to how you feel. Does a particular type of task energize you? Does a certain work environment make you feel stifled or inspired? These feelings are valuable clues. They're your internal guidance system telling you what's working and what isn't.
So, we're looking for careers that allow us to use our strengths in ways that feel authentic and contribute to something we care about. It sounds simple, but it can be incredibly challenging to implement.
It is challenging, and it also involves recognizing that the world of work has evolved. The idea of a single, lifelong career is becoming less common. People are more likely to have several distinct career chapters throughout their lives. This means we need to be adaptable and open to change.
Adaptability. That's a key skill for navigating a purposeful career journey.
It really is. And when we talk about aligning your career, we're not just talking about your primary job. It's also about how other aspects of your professional life can contribute to your sense of purpose. Think about side hustles, freelance work, or even board memberships. These can all be avenues to express different facets of your purpose.
That's a really good point, Alex. It's not an all or nothing proposition. You can weave purpose into your professional life in many ways.
Indeed. And for those who are in careers that feel fundamentally misaligned and the experiments are pointing towards a significant change, it's important to approach it strategically. This might involve acquiring new skills or further education or networking within a new field. It's a process.
And it's a process that requires patience and self-compassion. It's easy to get discouraged when things don't change overnight.
Absolutely. And remember, purpose isn't always about grand, world-changing achievements. Sometimes it's found in the quiet dedication to mastering a craft, in mentoring others, or in contributing a unique skill to a team. The impact can be profound, even if it's not widely recognized.
So, to recap for our listeners, aligning your career with your soul involves understanding your core values and your unique strengths. Then you use these as a compass to explore career paths. You can conduct life experiments and informational interviews to gather information and test the waters. Pay attention to how different roles and tasks make you feel, as this is your internal guidance. Be adaptable, recognize that careers evolve, and see how side projects or other professional ventures can add to your sense of purpose.
That's a fantastic summary, Lisa. The goal is to build a professional life that feels like a genuine expression of who you are, contributing your best to the world in a way that also fulfills you. It's about creating a career that fuels your soul, not drains it.
It's a journey for sure. And it's about recognizing that your professional life is a significant part of your overall journey toward a purposeful existence.
It truly is. And speaking of journeys and how they evolve, that's exactly what we'll be diving into in our next episode. We'll explore the dynamic nature of purpose, how it can change and grow with us over time.
Looking forward to it.
Thanks for joining us on the Purpose Finder. Next episode, the evolving purpose, growth, and change over time. Welcome back to the Purpose Finder. Last time, we explored how to align your career with your soul. Now, we're tackling a question many of you have asked. Does your purpose stay the same forever?
That's such a great question, Alex, because I think many of us imagine finding our purpose as discovering some ultimate, unchanging truth, like finding a map and then just following it, no detours allowed.
Exactly, Lisa. And while that idea is comforting, the reality is often much more dynamic. Today, on episode 9, we're diving into the evolving purpose, growth, and change over time. We'll explore how your sense of purpose isn't a fixed destination, but a journey that can beautifully shift and grow with you.
So, it's okay if what feels purposeful to us today doesn't feel quite the same in 5 or 10 years. That's a relief.
Absolutely. Think about it. We're constantly learning, experiencing new things, and our perspectives change. Why should our deepest sense of what drives us be any different? Our purpose can evolve, and embracing that evolution is a superpower in itself. Let's start by looking at why this happens. Imagine yourself at different stages of life, as a young student, a new professional, a seasoned parent, or even in retirement. Each phase brings different challenges, joys, and opportunities for growth. Your priorities naturally shift.
I can see that. When I was younger, my purpose felt tied to proving myself, to achieving outward success. Now, it feels more about creating impact and nurturing others. It's definitely a different flavor of purpose.
That's a perfect example, Lisa. That shift is natural. It's driven by a few key factors. First, life experiences. Every adventure, every setback, every new relationship adds layers to who we are and what we value. A challenge you overcome might reveal a strength you didn't know you had, and that discovery can reshape what you feel called to do.
So, those life experiments we talked about in episode 6 aren't just for finding your initial purpose, but for continuing to explore what matters as you go.
Precisely. And related to that is personal growth. As we learn and mature, our understanding of ourselves and the world deepens. We might develop new skills, gain different perspectives, or even realize certain passions we never knew existed. This growth naturally leads to an evolving sense of purpose. What ignites your soul at 20 might be different from what fuels you at 40 or 60.
It's like we're constantly refining our internal compass, right? It's not that the compass breaks, but we learn to read its signals with more nuance as we gain more experience navigating.
That's a fantastic analogy, Lisa. And another significant factor is changing circumstances. Think about major life events, starting a family, a career change, moving to a new country, or even facing unexpected health challenges. These events can fundamentally alter our priorities and, consequently, our sense of purpose. For instance, someone whose purpose was once focused on building a company might find their purpose shifting to mentoring young entrepreneurs after they've achieved their initial goals.
So, it's not a failure if our purpose shifts. It's actually a sign of being alive, of being engaged with life's currents.
Exactly. And this is where the concept of purpose as a journey, not a destination, really comes into play. If you see purpose as a destination, you might feel lost or discouraged when your path diverges from your original vision. But if you see it as a journey, you embrace the twists and turns as integral parts of the experience.
That makes so much sense. It takes the pressure off. Instead of feeling like I have to have it all figured out forever, I can see it as a continuous unfolding.
And to navigate this evolving purpose effectively, it's crucial to remain flexible and adaptable. This means being open to new possibilities, willing to reevaluate your priorities, and not being afraid to let go of pursuits that no longer serve you. It's about staying curious. Are you still passionate about this? Does this still align with your deepest values? Those core values we discussed in episode 5?
That's key. If we're rigidly clinging to an old definition of purpose, we might miss out on new avenues that could be even more fulfilling. It requires a conscious effort to check in with ourselves.
Absolutely. So, how do we actually do this? How do we stay attuned to our evolving purpose? One of the most powerful ways is through reflection and introspection. This is where journaling, which we'll delve into more deeply in the next episode, becomes incredibly valuable. Regularly asking yourself questions like, what is energizing me right now? What problems do I feel compelled to solve? What contributions do I want to make? Can reveal the subtle shifts in your purpose.
So, it's not just about finding a purpose once, but about actively tending to it like a garden. You weed, you water, you prune, and you notice what blooms.
That's a beautiful way to put it, Lisa. Another strategy is to actively seek out new experiences and learning opportunities. Stepping outside your comfort zone, whether it's learning a new skill, volunteering for a different cause, or traveling to unfamiliar places, can expose you to new facets of yourself and the world, and in turn, reveal new directions for your purpose.
It's like the more you engage with the more the world engages with you, showing you new possibilities.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of listening to your intuition. That quiet inner voice often guides us toward what's truly meaningful. If something consistently feels off, or if a new idea keeps recurring, pay attention. It might be your evolving purpose. Try to get your attention.
This idea of an evolving purpose really resonates with me. It removes the fear of getting it wrong or getting stuck. It frames our lives as a continuous unfolding of meaning.
And that's the beauty of it, Lisa. Embracing this evolution means embracing a life of ongoing discovery, growth, and deeper fulfillment. It's acknowledging that we are dynamic beings, and our purpose should reflect that dynamism. It's not about finding a singular, perfect answer and sticking to it forever, but about living in alignment with what matters most to us at each stage of our unique journey.
So, to recap, our purpose isn't a static object we find, but a living, breathing aspect of ourselves that can and often does change. This evolution is influenced by our life experiences, our personal growth, and shifting circumstances. The key is to remain flexible, stay curious, and regularly check in with ourselves through reflection.
That's a perfect summary. Embracing this evolving nature of purpose allows us to live with more authenticity, adaptability, and a sustained sense of drive throughout our lives. It encourages us to see life not as a fixed path, but as an ongoing exploration of meaning.
It's an invitation to keep learning, keep growing, and keep discovering what makes us feel most alive at every turn.
And to help you cultivate this lifelong practice of discovering and realigning your purpose, next episode, we'll introduce you to a powerful tool, your purposeful blueprint, journaling for daily drive. You won't want to miss it. Next episode, your purposeful blueprint, journaling for daily drive. Welcome back. Today, we're building your purposeful blueprint for daily drive.
This episode is about putting everything into practice. We've discussed purpose, passion, ikigai, strengths, and values. Now, journaling will help us weave it all into our lives.
Exactly. Your journal becomes your personal lab. It's where you clarify direction. Remember Ikigai? That blend of what you love, are good at, the world needs, and what pays.
Yes, ikigai, our reason for being. It can feel big. How does journaling help us get closer to it?
Let's start with this prompt. What activities make me lose track of time, and why do they have that effect? This explores what you love, the first part of Ikigai. When you're absorbed, your interests and skills are engaged.
Losing track of time is a strong signal. For me, it's solving complex problems or creating something like organizing an event. Hours vanish. It's because I feel challenged and useful in a flow state.
That's a great example. Now, connect that to your strengths, your superpowers from episode 4. Your next prompt. When I lose track of time, which of my identified strengths am I consistently using? This shows where your talents energize you.
If I love problem solving and organizing and my strengths are strategic thinking and communication, I see how those directly fuel my engagement. Those strengths are the engine for that joy.
You're building your blueprint. Now, what the world needs. This can feel grand. So let's make it tangible. Identify 1 or 2 problems in my community or areas I care about that I feel pulled to help solve. What small steps could I take, even this week, to address one?
Purpose includes contribution, not just personal joy. My first thought might be huge, but journaling breaks it down. Maybe volunteering locally or improving neighborhood recycling. It's about impact, whatever the scale.
Correct. Purpose exists in both grand and quiet actions. And the fourth Ikigai circle, what you can be paid for. For some, it's their career. For others, a side hustle or a passion project.
So, the prompt could be, how can the activities that energize me and the strengths I use align with my financial needs or goals? Are there skills I could develop further for this alignment?
Perfect. You're looking at practical application. Remember core values from episode 5? Your guiding principles. Prompt. Review your core values. How do the activities I've identified align with these values? Or might there be a conflict? And how can I adjust to honor my values?
This is vital for authenticity. If my values are integrity and compassion, but my purposeful activities involve cutting corners, that's a warning. Journaling spots misalignments to course correct. It ensures my actions match who I am.
Absolutely. And 4 life experiments from episode 6. Based on my exploration of Ikigai, strengths, contributions, and values, what is one small life experiment I can try next month? How will I measure its success? And what do I hope to learn?
This makes it concrete. It's about intentional action. I could try a new volunteer role, take a course, or dedicate time to a passion project. The journal becomes my experiment log.
And for reflection after trying something, what did I learn from this experiment? Did it spark more interest or confirm it wasn't the right path? What adjustments can I make for my next step? This iterative process fuels growth.
We've covered Ikigai, strengths, contribution, earning, values, and experiments. That's a lot for a journal. What if someone feels overwhelmed?
That's normal. Start small. Pick 1 or 2 prompts that resonate. Perhaps focus on what energizes you or a cause you care about. Consistency, not perfection, is key.
That's reassuring. It's about building a habit, right? A few minutes daily or a longer session weekly. How often should we review our journal entries?
Regular review is vital. At least monthly, dedicate time to read recent entries. Look for patterns, themes, and new questions. This is where your purposeful blueprint emerges. Ask yourself, am I aligning more with my purpose? Do my actions reflect my values and strengths?
So, the journal isn't just for recording. It's an active tool for self-discovery and course correction. It bridges understanding purpose and living it daily. It's our evolving roadmap.
Precisely. And this process isn't final. Remember, purpose evolves. Your journal will reflect that. As you grow, your understanding shifts. Your journal captures those shifts and helps you adapt your blueprint. It's your ongoing narrative.
So, to recap, we're using journaling for a purposeful blueprint. This means exploring Ikigai's 4 circles through prompts, integrating core values, and planning, executing, and reflecting on life experiments. Consistency and regular review are key, allowing the blueprint to evolve with us.
That's a perfect summary, Lisa. This journaling practice translates our insights into actionable daily momentum. It drives your purpose forward.
It feels empowering to have such a tangible way to connect with our purpose. Alex, what's next?
In our next episode, we'll connect all the dots. We'll explore how to weave your purpose into every aspect of your life, creating an integrated, fulfilling experience.
That sounds like the perfect way to wrap up our journey before the final episode. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back to the Purpose Finder. We're exploring how to weave purpose into everyday life.
Last time, we focused on journaling to capture your daily drive. Today, we're bringing all the pieces together.
Exactly. We've spent 10 episodes discovering what purpose means, how to find it, and how to nurture it. Now, in episode 11, we're connecting those dots. This is about integrating everything we've learned into the fabric of our everyday lives.
So, how do we practically start connecting these elements? We have our Ikigai, our strengths, our values, but how do they become a cohesive whole?
The first step is conscious awareness. You need to actively remind yourself of what you've uncovered. Your purposeful blueprint, which we discussed in the last episode, is a great tool here. It's a reminder of your core purpose, your strengths, and your values. When you're faced with a decision, big or small, you can consult your blueprint.
So, it's about creating reference points. Before, we might just react to situations. Now, we can pause and ask ourselves, does this align with my core values? Does it utilize my strengths? Does it move me closer to my Ikigai?
Precisely. And it's not just about decisions. It's about how you approach your existing life. Let's take your career, for example. If your Ikigai points you towards a specific type of work and you're currently in a role that doesn't fully align, you don't necessarily have to quit tomorrow. Integration means looking for ways to bring elements of your purpose into your current role.
Even small things like taking on projects that use your strengths, or seeking out colleagues who share similar values, or even reframing your current tasks to see how they contribute to your larger purpose. It's about making consistent, small shifts rather than one giant leap.
Absolutely. And this applies beyond your career. Think about your relationships. Are you showing up as your authentic self? Are you contributing to the well-being of those around you in a way that feels purposeful to you? Your purpose isn't just about what you do, but also about who you are and how you connect.
That's a powerful reminder. Purpose can feel very individual, but it's profoundly relational too. When we live in alignment with our purpose, we often become a positive force for others, offering our unique strengths and perspectives in ways that benefit our communities.
And let's not forget personal pursuits. Hobbies, creative outlets, learning new things. These are all areas where you can intentionally integrate your purpose. If your purpose involves creativity, then making time for your art or writing is not a luxury. It's a necessity. If it involves learning and growth, then dedicating time to study or skill development is part of living purposefully.
So, integration means actively weaving the threads of our purpose into every aspect of life, our work, our relationships, our leisure, and even our downtime. It's about consistency. It's about moving from a conceptual understanding of purpose to a lived reality.
Exactly. And this reinforces the idea that purpose is evolving. As you integrate your purpose, you'll continue to learn and grow. Your understanding of your strengths might deepen, your values might be refined, and your Ikigai might shift slightly as you gain new experiences. This integration process allows you to notice these changes and adapt.
This really reinforces the idea that finding purpose isn't a one-time event. It's a continuous journey. By integrating these elements, we're not just finding direction. We're building a life that is inherently resilient and fulfilling because it's rooted in who we truly are.
And the journaling practice we discussed in episode 10 becomes your ongoing tool for this. Regularly checking in with yourself, reflecting on your experiences, and noting how aligned or misaligned you feel provides valuable feedback. It helps you course correct and deepen your integration.
It's like tending to a garden. You don't just plant the seeds and walk away. You need to water, weed, and observe. Integration is the active tending of your purposeful life, ensuring it continues to grow and flourish.
A great analogy, Lisa. So, to recap for our listeners, integrating purpose means actively bringing your discovered Ikigai, your strengths, and your core values into every area of your life. This involves conscious awareness, making small, consistent shifts in your daily activities, and allowing your understanding of purpose to evolve over time. Your purposeful blueprint and regular journaling are key allies in this ongoing process.
It's about moving from knowing what your purpose is to truly living it day in and day out. It transforms your experience of work, relationships, and even simple moments, creating a life filled with drive and authentic alignment.
And this brings us to our conclusion for this episode. We've come so far in understanding and finding our purpose. In the final episode, we'll look at the purposeful life as a journey of continuous discovery.
It's been an incredible exploration of finding drive and alignment. I'm really looking forward to our final conversation.
Thanks for listening. Welcome back to the Purpose Finder, and congratulations on reaching our final episode, number 12.
It really has, Alex. We've explored why asking what's next is so important, untangled the often confused ideas of purpose and passion, and deep dived into the Japanese concept of Ikigai, your reason for being.
Precisely, Lisa. We've helped listeners identify their unique strengths, what we've called their superpowers, and guided them to define their core values, that internal compass that steers their decisions.
And we encouraged listeners to conduct life experiments, treating their journey of finding purpose like a scientist testing a hypothesis. We also explored how to find meaning in the everyday tasks that make up our lives and how to align careers with that deeper sense of soul.
That's right. Then, we moved on to the crucial understanding that purpose isn't static. It evolves. This reminded us that life brings changes, and our purpose can, and often should, grow and adapt with us.
And how did we solidify all this? Through actionable tools. Last episode, we discussed integrating everything we've learned into our daily lives. We also talked about creating a purposeful blueprint through journaling.
Exactly. So, here we are, episode 12, The Purposeful Life, a journey of continuous discovery. This title really sums it all up. We've spent 11 episodes building the foundation, understanding the components, and putting them into practice. Now, we're here to talk about what comes next.
And the most important takeaway, Alex, is that finding your purpose isn't a destination. It's not like you reach a certain age or achieve a specific goal, and then, poof, you've found your purpose and you're done.
No, Lisa, it's a continuous practice. It's a way of living. Think of it like tending a garden. You don't just plant the seeds and walk away. You nurture the soil, you water, you weed, you prune. You're always interacting, always adjusting to help the garden thrive. Your purposeful life is very much like that.
That's a fantastic analogy. So, for listeners who feel like they've finished the exercises or absorbed all the episodes, what's the ongoing work?
The ongoing work is simply to continue to show up for yourself. Keep asking those probing questions we've introduced. Revisit your strengths. Revisit your values. Are they still the same? Have they shifted as you've grown? Are your daily experiments yielding new insights?
So, it's about self-awareness as a constant.
Precisely. It's about actively choosing how you engage with the world. Are you aligning your actions with what truly matters to you? Are you still seeking opportunities to use your unique abilities for something meaningful? Sometimes, meaning is found in the grand gestures, but often it's in the quiet consistency of your everyday choices.
And we've talked about how purpose can manifest in different areas of life, not just career, but relationships, community involvement, personal growth. It's a holistic approach.
Absolutely. A purposeful life doesn't mean every single moment is filled with ecstatic joy or profound revelation. It means that even in the challenging or mundane moments, you have an underlying sense of direction, a reason to persevere, and an understanding of why your actions matter. It's about building resilience through meaning.
So, if someone finishes this episode and thinks, okay, I've done the work, what now? The answer is, keep doing the work, but in a more relaxed, integrated way.
Exactly. Treat these episodes as a toolkit, not a textbook. You've learned how to use the tools. Now go out and build. When you encounter a new challenge or a new opportunity, reach for the right tool from our series. Need to clarify your values? Revisit episode 5. Unsure if a new path aligns with your strengths? Revisit episode 4.
Think of it as a continuous feedback loop. You act, you observe, you learn, you adjust, and you act again. The more you practice this, the more intuitive it becomes.
And remember the concept of Ikigai, that sweet spot where what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for all intersect. As your life evolves, that intersection point may shift. So, it's worth periodically checking in. Is my reason for being still my reason for being? Or is it time to explore a new intersection?
This is why the idea of continuous discovery is so powerful. It acknowledges that we are always changing. Our perspective on what's important can change based on our experiences, our age, even the global events around us.
And that's a good thing. Resistance to change can lead to stagnation. Embracing the idea of an evolving purpose allows us to remain dynamic, adaptable, and continuously engaged with life in a meaningful way. It means that even when things feel uncertain, you have a framework for navigating that uncertainty with intention.
So, for everyone who has been on this journey with us, thank you. Thank you for your openness, your willingness to explore, and your commitment to living a more purposeful life.
Yes, truly. We've covered a lot of ground. We started by understanding the fundamental question of what's next and the deep human need for purpose. We distinguished purpose from passion, guiding you to find your unique reason for being through Ikigai. We helped you uncover your innate strengths and define your core values, those guiding lights that illuminate your path.
We then encouraged active exploration and showed you how to find profound meaning even in the ordinary moments. We explored the crucial connection between your career and your soul, and importantly, we embraced the reality that purpose is not a fixed point, but a journey of growth and change, an evolving narrative.
We've equipped you with tools like purposeful journaling to create your own roadmap. And we've emphasized the power of integrating all these elements into your life, connecting the dots to create a cohesive and meaningful existence.
This final episode, then, isn't about closing a book, but about opening a new chapter. It's about stepping forward with the knowledge, the tools, and the mindset to continue this incredible journey of discovery, not just for the next week or month, but for the rest of your life.
So, go forth, continue to explore, continue to refine, and most importantly, continue to live a life rich with purpose. Thank you for being a part of the Purpose Finder series.
We hope you've found as much value in creating this series as we have in sharing it with you all.
Thanks for listening to the series.